All right, hello everyone. So obviously, you guys can hear my voice is still a little rough from this weekend, so we'll have to work through that one. It is significantly better than yesterday, so I felt I could go ahead and record this video now that my voice has mostly recovered. This is not a video I thought I would be making, to be honest with you. This kind of came about after the events of this weekend. The LCS finals were really cool. I'll have other content that'll be coming out about that pretty shortly. Mostly the trivia games that I played with everybody, all the interviews I did, so on and so forth. So that content will be coming out shortly. This video is more born out of the interaction that I had with an individual that was at the event, and it ended up serving as a reminder of the fact that there are people in our community that are not as well-meaning and as honest as others. And that's a given with any community, right? Obviously, not everyone is going to be, the perfect case and not going to be the perfect citizen, but you do have a level of expectation in the interaction that you're going to have with people. And just as a disclaimer with this story, I'm not going to reveal this person's identity or anything like that. Obviously, I don't want to run into that issue, but I do want to talk about the things that happened this weekend with this person, and the interaction that I and a friend had with them. And then just kind of go over, what was going on, why it happened, and then why it's important to recognize this issue and then what to do about it. I'm going to give the kind of the short version of the story, which is basically that there was an individual at the LCS finals this weekend in Chicago that was representing themselves as a former Cloud9 positional coach. A lot of people, I think, maybe had interaction with this person. Hopefully they've kind of just forgotten what he looks like now. Hopefully they've, moved on. This is going to be my way of moving on by making a video about this and talking about what happened, because I think it's important to highlight that there are less well-meaning individuals out there in our community. I think for the most part, people in esports, and especially in League of Legends, we're very giving of our time and our money and, our respect and our admiration, and ultimately just giving of the love that we have for the game and the people that play it, and the community surrounding it. And I think that for the most part, most people respect that, and they respect that relationship that people have with the game, and with the industry around it. But obviously there are people that don't. Obviously there are people that you look to take advantage of certain things or situations. And sometimes it can be difficult to figure out where, who people actually are, and where they stand. And this particular individual was misrepresenting the fact that they were not with Cloud9. They basically said that they were, and the person was basically a pathological liar. They weren't affiliated with Cloud9 in any way, shape, or form. And I think the reason that they were doing this was twofold. I think firstly, because it was difficult, it would be difficult to confirm something like a positional coach unless you had extreme knowledge of how the LCS works and how the team's histories have been. So claiming something like that can be a little bit difficult to verify. So obviously, it makes your interaction with that person a little bit ambiguous because you're not sure if they're telling the truth, but obviously you don't want to call them a liar. And then the second reason I think that this person was doing it is because they were essentially mooching off of other people at the event. Free drinks, free food, so on and so forth. I think even was trying to get access maybe to better seats than they had. I can't confirm that, to be sure. But this person was dubious and was very suspicious in the way that they were acting. And it didn't take really long to figure out that this person was a liar. It didn't take very long to figure out that this person was just straight up not telling the truth. And the reason that I'm making a video about this is because I wanted to kind of serve as a warning to people out in the community, to never take what you see or hear at face value. Obviously this you would think would be an obvious, point to understand and something to, live by. But, in the esports community, it's difficult to tell who people are. It's difficult to confirm things. And so there is a measure of just trust that people have when somebody says that they, are someone or do something or have been in a place within the esports industry. Obviously, it didn't take very long to find out that this person was lying by just doing some basic research on social media profile that they had, and the people that they said that they knew, and obviously being able to reach out to Jack on Cloud9 and basically confirm that this person was not related to Cloud9 in any way, sort of made that issue pretty easy. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to do that every time. Obviously, an org owner's not going to necessarily respond to a question about someone being in their org, but in this case, it was pretty blatant. And this person was misrepresenting that they were with Cloud9, and were making promises that obviously they couldn't keep about path to LCS stuff and access to player interviews and whatnot. And that really rubbed me the wrong way, because Cloud9 is obviously a very reputable organization that have slowly and painstakingly built their reputation in many circles of the esports community. And obviously anybody dragging their name through the mud by saying, or by misrepresenting Cloud9 as a brand and as a team, obviously, bothers me. Especially as someone, as a content creator trying to build my own brand, as someone trying to make my own content, that really just sat very wrongly with me. And there were some interactions that we had. This guy kind of spent the day with me and a friend of mine. And we were kind of sort of keeping it at arm's length, but we didn't really know. Obviously we didn't have the time to really research it right then during the day, because, well, the semifinals were going on. But as soon as the event was over, we figured out this person was just not who they said they were. So this is kind of, my warning to you guys. Never take anything at face value. Always ask to see a credential, always ask someone to confirm their identity, and never be afraid to, do a little bit of a deep dive on what the person says they did or who they are. I mean, it was a little bit embarrassing for me because I even did a short interview with this person in the off chance that they were who they said they were, asking some generic questions about, Cloud9 and things like that. But most of the answers I got weren't anything beyond what a casual fan would know. There weren't particularly in-depth answers, and ultimately the character of this person, the way they talked and the way they act was pretty repulsive, just in the way that they talked about certain people or certain things, and just the things they said were not professional at all. So obviously wouldn't have been in keeping with anything that you would expect out of a positional coach. So, take this lesson from me, guys. Anytime you meet somebody in this community, especially in the League of Legends community, that talks a big game, or, has these, wild claims of things that they've done or places that they've been, make sure that you do your due diligence and check, and never try and, obviously I would say, don't let yourself be taken advantage of. Obviously that's, oh duh kind of thing, but it happened to a number of people, this event. And I know a number of people were upset, and obviously Cloud9 obviously would be upset to find out that a person of that ill repute would be claiming to use their name or, their accolades to that person's benefit. So, just as a warning for me, do the best you can to not be taken advantage of, and always be skeptical of things that seem too good to be true, because as the saying goes, they often are. Yeah, I mean, that's it for me regarding this video. I just wanted to make this quick blurb just so that way you guys had a thing from me that went on about the LCS, and just a reminder that not everybody is well-meaning and well-intentioned in this community, despite what we may hope for. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me for this video. I'll have other stuff coming out. I got to give my voice a rest, so I'll probably start working to try and get the rest of the content that I recorded over this weekend, get that out soon. But I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day if you stick around to watch this, and we will see you again very, very soon. Thank you.